Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today I've got something exciting and brand spanking new, the brand new next gen SENA top of the line communication system, the 60S. And I have to tell you this really quick before I start the video because it is time sensitive. These are just in handfuls hitting suppliers out there. Stock is almost non-existent. You can't get them direct. Amazon is still showing out of stock. Most stores do not have them in stock. Revzilla just a couple days ago got in a handful, and I got one of the first ones on the planet going out. So if you want to buy one and you know you want it, contact Revzilla right now and order before they go out. I'm sure they'll have normal stock in all the normal places in short order, but especially if you need it before Christmas, contact Revzilla right now. That being said, this guy is completely new. I'm going to have a review of the 50S, how do you open this dang box, in just a couple days, because I also have one of those. And that is a top of the line last gen system. This may as well be from a new company. Absolutely every part of this, it's taped. Every single part of this is completely new. The hardware, the software, the technologies used, the features, lots of very firsts for SENA. Now, admittedly, some of the features like waterproofing, yes, SENA finally has a waterproof, not resistant, not nothing, waterproof unit in this. Some other brands have been doing that for quite some time, but now SENA has joined the fun. So we're gonna unbox it here, go through what you get in the box real quick, go through the features, and I will install it on my Shoei RF1200. And then we're gonna take it out and do some testing like you've seen me do on all the other units. I just did the PackTalk Edge. And as soon as I finish this and the 50S review, I'm gonna do a head-to-head kind of walkthrough between the three, these two and the 50. And then we'll see kind of who takes the cake for performance and value and all that kind of good stuff. Now, it really depends on what you're looking for and who you ride with. What brand, what system, what model is going to be important to you. So everything is different between these three. We have our instruction manual here. I'll look through that in a bit. Now, when I say all of this is new, I'm not kidding. Hardware-wise, obviously the unit being waterproof, that's a first for SENA. We've got some cool aesthetic things that I'll show you a bit. We've got LEDs, we've got a flashlight. Yes, a flashlight. We've got interchangeable colored shells. These are all the individual pads and spacers and mounts. We have different mount options for the bracket and all that kind of stuff. We do have sort of a multi-helmet kit in the one box, even if you get a single. So I'm gonna go through that. It's kind of a little weird because I'll show you in a bit, but they assume you have one open and one full face helmet. If you have two full face helmets, you only get one mount. But here is the unit here, and this mic is interchangeable. It comes with the boom self-attached. I think they used to do that on some other models too. I kind of remember my old 20S coming like that. Here's a real star of the show, in my opinion. These are 40 millimeter second gen Harman Kardon speakers. These have a greatly increased sensitivity, so they will be playing a lot louder. In fact, SENA says that just the upgraded speakers are good for a 4 dB increase in overall volume. That's a lot. And they have a firmware trick, or update I should say. This comes with it built in, but the software alone boosts the audio another 4 dB. So this is, on paper at least, 8 dB louder than any of the other SENAs, and I can tell you at least the PackTalk Edge, because that was equivalent to the best last gen SENA in overall volume. But an 8 dB increase is huge. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if this one finally fits my bill for overall volume in my helmet, on the highway, hearing GPS and music. I think it will. It's kind of heavy. First reaction here. Now, it is completely waterproof, does have a connection to the base. I'll have to figure out how to snap it off here. I'm just looking at it first. This is my first impression of it, and it looks really slick. We have the familiar jog dial, which I have to say, I'm simply accustomed to it. I don't have anything against the little, I don't know, it's kind of like a third mouse wheel that Cardo uses. I don't have anything against it, but still instinctually, I've had the PackTalk Edge on my helmet for the last couple weeks at least, 3 weeks I think I got that video out, but I still just run my hand up like this to do my volume instinctually. Whereas the Cardo, you have to use one finger and go front to back. It's just more natural to do this. Anyway, not a big deal. It's really what you're used to. This whole shield here, you can see this one is, we'll see if it's black or chrome. It is a black chrome. That looks really slick. We have multicolored options in here. This little line here is also an LED, which has multiple options, including off, which I'll probably have mine off. But then we have the familiar center wheel, familiar feeling jog dial, feels just like the same that you've been used to, and of course the clicks as a D-pad. We got more buttons, got a rubber port here, it's a USB-C, looks like it's probably for charging. Someone asked on the FJR group if this can charge while riding. I didn't see this. It also has a port underneath that it actually connects with, and I thought that was the charge port. Obviously that's it. I don't know, I'll have to see if this can be charged while using. That's kind of a new feature that Cardo came out with, and I know the 50S and below doesn't have it. But here's our single LED flashlight. That's actually really handy. This will let me get rid of the battery-operated LEDs that I've got set up in my trunk. And that's simply for when I have to get in there at night. Now I can just, I imagine this is the light for the flashlight. Probably has to be on. But now I can just turn that on and I've got a flashlight built into my helmet. So that's really cool. And we obviously have the clip mount. Different style than we've seen in previous SENA units with the set screws. This is kind of how other brands have done it. I can already tell you that I will not be using this because in my helmet, I don't have a gap that goes up that far. Ran into that, I think, at the PackTalk Edge review. So I'll put this on just for testing, but for permanently mounting, if this is the one I go with, I will be using the sticky mount. And that just sticks the base to the helmet. And then this, after I figure out how to get it off, attaches magnetically and then clips into place. And then we have our connector here. Looks like there's a slide catch, and then you pull this off. And this will allow you to connect different mic and speaker options. I think you just pry this off. Hope I'm not breaking it. Oh, I don't have any fingernails. There we go. So yeah, that's your waterproof gasket here and a USB-C connection into the dongle here. You can also connect your own. It comes with a wire somewhere in here with a 3.5 mil jack. So you can plug in whatever else you would want instead of these. That's in there. All right, what else do we have in the box? Here is the second mount. Like I said, it kind of gives you a second helmet kit right here in the box. Now the thing is, they only give you one surface mount mic and one boom mic. So there's the catch. If you have one of each helmet, which I happen to, you can just mount the speakers and the mic to both helmets and you don't have to do anything. You can just swap your unit into each bracket. But there you go. A whole second set of speakers. I mean, this alone, if you have to buy this separately, is usually $100 at least. I would love to see them offer this with just a normal single helmet kit. Get rid of this for everybody that only has one helmet and will never use this. This is completely wasted money. And this is a $400 single unit, so it's not cheap. If they would offer this without the extra stuff for $300, oh my God, that would be an absolute killer unit. And we've got our wind protection for the mic, and here's our, I assume, USB charging cable. We do have all new battery technology, longer battery, faster charging. And like I said, I will check and see if it can be charged while on. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it had this. So here are the different color plates you have. You got the black chrome that's on it. We've got white, silver, and black. I think I'll probably put on black because I have a gloss black metallic helmet. But man, that chrome might look cool too. I'll have to put it on and see. But what I didn't know they also gave you were the matching trim rings for the jog dial. That's really cool. What's on there now? I didn't notice. Oh, it is the chrome. I thought it was a protective wrap on here, but that's cool. So you got the white, silver, chrome, and black in both the side covers and the jog dials. Very cool, very nice. Didn't even know that existed, and that's it in the box. Now, everything else is in the app, so I will install that. Should be pretty familiar, but they have all new technologies, and I'll talk about that when I show you the app. So just going through the instruction sheet here real quick, we've got a indication of what our buttons do. We've got the flashlight button, mesh button is up on the front now. This also has next generation mesh. They're 3.0, better quality, more distance, up to a couple miles in perfect conditions. The range on everything except the new technology in this is very dependent on your terrain. If you're riding in the middle of the desert and you can see for miles, you're gonna get that couple miles. If you're running through the mountains and you're going around sheer cliffs and all that through trees, you're probably gonna get a quarter mile. That's true of any brand out there. But this has something completely new called Wave Intercom. If you have cell coverage, this can now utilize through direct intercom to intercom cell linking. So you have no distance limitations. Now, of course, you're probably going to want an unlimited plan, and it's limited to when you don't have cutouts in cell coverage, but that is a fantastic feature. So here's what I'm interested in, how to swap the plates. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So remove the unit from the tray, simply push the main unit upward firmly. All right, so that would be this big sticker here. Push upward to remove the main unit. I love that they actually give you, hey, look at that. That is a really strong magnet. I was a little concerned that, that would be kind of easy to take out if it hit a bump or something. Absolutely not. That took quite a bit of force. I'm going to take this off this ring that's on it. If I can snag it, come on now. Hang on. Good thing I'm on my watch repair desk. I got tools everywhere for anything I need to do. This is a little tiny bit firmer and a more tactile click than the at least 30K, which I just took off the helmet. Not complaining because it's still easy enough to move. I do miss the indentations that were, this might be better with a glove on, but on a bare finger, this slides a lot easier. You have to kind of press. On that, I like the old design better, but this is still just fine. As long as you put a little pressure on it with your thumb, no big deal. So remove the plate, just says pull the top forward. Oh, that's it. So installation is just align a tab and click in. So I just pull this. Boy, that does not want to give either. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that is really on there. So we've got just little plastic locator tabs. That's all it is. You got 3 here. So that's where you want to put your fingernail. And yeah, let's go to the black. Let's take this protective film off. Oh, that is a very gloss black. That is going to perfectly match the helmet. Oh, I love that. But look how subtle the chrome is in comparison. I mean, they're both dark. This is a beautiful black chrome. The smudges are just my fingerprints, but that's really close. It's almost like this is a semi-gloss and this is a high polish. But let's put this on because I know that'll look great on the helmet. That's really nice. I wasn't expecting to even care about this feature, but they really did a good job on this. Now, how do we do the jog dial? We've got one fingernail under there and just pull up and then rotate it and do the same. Okay, so we start here, clicked over, the other side. It wants to snap back down, so kind of walk it. Same kind of plastic clips. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. And we'll put the black on to match. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. I mean, they both look good, but that looks so much better. Do we have to align these? Probably, yes. Wants to align something. So we got a little port sticking down there and a little cutout notch there. So we just need to align that, and oh, that's nice. I put the arrow up on the front for you and just align that and done. Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's that. Installation, they're showing that rubber gasket and make sure it clicks. That's here, and you can see the tab in the slot there. And we got French instructions. What else do we have? Japanese instructions on the back. Oh, that's it. Okay, so everything like the Cardo. These are all the instructions you get. Everything is going to be in the app. Let's see if we've got a download somewhere for the app. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. Phone button on the back side, that was the normal. Jog dial, status LED, flashing, a flashlight button. Yep, there's nothing there. Okay, so here's the download for the app and the Wave intercom, obviously a separate app. This is another little feature. I'm not sure if this was some kind of problem in the past, but we have a weather and damage and dust cover here for the port. As you see, it's just a USB jack on the unit right here on the underside, and it goes into a USB plug as part of the base. And they've got a cover here on the one you're not using. And a notice here, remove this cover before use. I would imagine you just pop it up, and it is magnetic as well. And that covers that, whichever one you're not using, so you don't have any damage to it. All right, let's install the apps and take a look at that. So the link to the app goes to the normal SENA app. And that I already had installed, obviously. Thought there might be one special for the 60S. Sometimes they've done that when they switch generations. The link to the Wave intercom, I was expecting another app, but it just went to the SENA website. So maybe everything's in the app itself. Okay, before I jump into the app, a couple really cool things. I now have it fully charged and firmware updated. Here's the really cool stuff. One, it works with fast chargers. I tried it with my 21 watt, my 30 watt, and my 65 watt base station, which I have in my office. Not all devices will do that. Even if it's not a smart charge device, some chargers just won't charge them at all. This had no problem with any. The other really cool part, it went from 20%, which is what it was delivered with, to 100 in just over an hour and 15 minutes. And that includes the firmware update in the middle of that. It had to go to 50% and able to do the update. Only took about 5 minutes, but that certainly takes some battery to do as well. The other really cool news, it charges while riding. Maybe I completely missed that in the marketing, or maybe they just forgot to add that as a really cool feature. First time for SENA. Cardo has a couple models that do it, but that's it. You get this USB-C port here, and that's it. It'll go in the cradle. Goes in its own USB-C port for the cradle, and this accepts any regular USB-C charger cable. It's got a little dedicated rubber flap. And while it was charging, if you turn it on, it's a little funny with one hand there if you're out of the orientation. Just said phone connected. It's reading 99% now. Make sure you guys can see it there, right there. And now we're in the app, and we're at the current version as of today, 1.0.2. It was delivered with 1.0.0. All right, so let me turn on screen recording and we'll run through the app. Okay, so I'm gonna throw the app up in the middle right here, and we'll be able to see what's going on with the unit over here. Now, as you can see, hopefully, it has two spots where there is LED light. We've got this big long bar, that's called the dynamic LED, and it does all kinds of different things. And then the status LED, blinking blue for it's connected to the phone. We're not in any communications link, but we're powered on. While you're charging, a little red LED comes on over here. And then the dynamic, you can program to do different things. When it's in phone pairing mode, it's red and blue, and they're kind of doing this. It does an animation for turning on and off. And in the app here, we will be able to either turn it off or set it to look like different things. So on the front page of the app, you've got the name. You can customize that, of course. It shows the firmware, current battery status, little picture of it. What does this little speaker do? Oh, okay, so we've got dedicated volume. It was defaulted there to the middle. Next little icon next to it is for easy pairing with your friends. You can simply use the app. I'm going to strongly suggest, and I've said this in all my comms reviews for a while, use the app for connecting riders. It is so much easier and faster than trying to do it through button pushes. And then we have settings. Here we have firmware update. If it was available, it would say it is. I already did it. Let's go into device settings. Equalizer. This is basically bass boost or overall volume or treble. Music balance says adjust frequency response to give the most natural balance. That's basically flat. This is standard EQ stuff. Bass boost, you're going to have that obvious kick down low. Voice is going to be mid-range and then treble. I like an overall balance, so we're just going to stick with balance. We'll see how it sounds. I haven't had a problem with bass in any comm units for many years. They're very strong. They've got nice big strong 40mm speakers. Shouldn't make that big of a difference. Smart volume control is off. This is probably acting to road noise and such. I leave it off. I just want manual control, and especially for the review, I want to maximize it out just to see what we've got, but you can of course turn that on. Background volume. I have no idea what this is. That is new to me. The manual, like pretty much all of them again these days, is all electronic in the app. So there's a big PDF, you go in and you can read all the controls and what the buttons do and all that kind of stuff. I will look up background volume right now. Help and guide is where you find the manual. It's called user guide. Got your quick reference. This is what 99% of people are going to be looking for, how to do stuff, especially how to activate your voice control and all the commands and stuff like that. It says click any section to begin. Let's see if this actually works. I'm looking for app controls. I don't see anything. Let's try basic. Hey, it worked. Cool. It's not just a flat PDF. Really quickly, here's what they have under key features. 3rd generation mesh intercom. Right now, this is only on the 60S. The 50 and below uses mesh 2.0. And wave intercom is cellular inclusion. It's got a dual core CPU. First time for that. Everything should be snappy. And AI-based noise cancellation. That's new for the 60S as well. Enhanced voice command. I'm not sure what enhanced means, but we'll find out. 2nd generation speakers for more volume. Bluetooth 5.3 and all the other stuff I've already covered. Let's take a look at that flashlight real quick.
Flashlight on.
Yes, it is.
Flashlight off.
And all the usual instructions on how to mount. Pretty self-explanatory. Aha, here in the manual, it says it features fast charging. I just didn't see it anywhere on the website. And it says delivering up to 4 hours of mesh intercom and 6 hours of Bluetooth with a 20-minute charge. Absolutely love that. Now I am interested to see if you can turn off the mesh to save battery. That was a feature I really liked in the Cardo, or at least in the Cardo Edge that I have. Because like I said earlier, I'm mainly using this. Oh, I don't know if I said it in this review. I said it in others. I mainly use my comms just for music and navigation prompts. I hardly ever use them for actual communication between riders. I do sometimes, so I don't want just a dedicated music device, but if I can save battery and turn off the radios in it, all the better. Okay, so Ride Glow LED. I'm not clear on what the point of this is, for one simple reason. You can't see it when it's on your helmet. I mean, it looks cool to other people, I guess. Me personally, I'm just going to turn it off, save a tiny little fraction of battery, but there's just no point. It's cool though. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have computers with, 50 million RGBs going on it. That's not me, but personal choice. Cool that it's there. And a bunch of pairing instructions, all the normal stuff, setting your speed dials. Here's your mesh intercom. Use is the same as all the previous mesh and pretty much every other type of device. You can connect direct to other SENA devices, and if you need to bridge to other brands, you just use the Bluetooth connection in addition to it. So you can have multiple different brands in one group and still all talk to each other through that bridge. Does have a antenna for extended range during mesh, same as the 20, 30, and 50. I hardly ever had to put that up. If I was in normal riding distance in a group, it just didn't make a difference. I've only had to raise it when somebody was lost. One thing I haven't seen yet is if this has a FM radio built in. SENA had included it and then removed it and included it again over the years in different models. So I don't know if this has it or not. It's another thing I didn't see in the marketing material, at least. Nothing yet in the manual. All right, here's an audio section. Maybe that's in there. Background volume. Background audio, such as music playback, will automatically lower in volume during an active intercom conversation. Ah, okay. Was that what I was looking for? Background volume. Hey, it does have an FM radio. Awesome. Very glad to see that. It's something I love on trips. I like listening to local radio stations. Take a break from my playlists. And then here we have all the voice commands. Most of them start with the hey. I'm not sure if they're calling the company SENA or SENA. This is something where even the SENA videos or even the SENA videos over the years have gone back and forth. Their own company personnel and in person when I interviewed them over multiple years. Some would say it one way and some would say the other. So we'll have to see if one responds better than the other, but there's a bunch of commands there. Pretty much looks like any of the major stuff. Factory reset, fault reset. All right, so background audio, is that what I was looking for? Where am I going here? Back to settings, device settings. Yes, background volume. Okay, so that is how much you want the music or nav to turn down while you're talking. So that would be something you would set while you're out there riding and just see what sounds good to you. Cool, and there's FM radio. I just didn't look down the list to notice it before. And all the normal stuff. Region, we're gonna go to Americas. That will set our channel ranges and presets. RDS, radio data system. No reason to turn that off. An FM station guide, if you want it to announce when you change to a station, you can turn that on. If not, turn it off. Since you can't see a display unless you're looking at the app, and I don't even know if this app is going to show the radio, I would suggest leaving that on. Utility, Mesh 3.0. Now, I don't know if this is turning the mesh on or off, or switching between 2.0 and 3.0. Let's see what it says. Okay, so that's switching between 3 and 4. That would be if you're connecting to another 60S user, you have to have that on. If you're connecting to a 20, 30, or 50 with Mesh 2.0, actually 20S doesn't have Mesh, 30 or 50. I think the 30 used Mesh 1, 50 used Mesh 2, and the 60 obviously uses Mesh 3. So that would be probably just giving you better range. I would imagine that it's going to connect to everything no matter what you have that set to, except a 60S if that's off. Mesh reach out, what does that do? It says when enabled, reach out request messages can be sent or received. If it's disabled, messages cannot be sent. I have no idea what that means. I'll enable it. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with the battery or the volume, but it looks like for maximum compatibility, you should have that on. Microphone sensitivity. This is probably going to be something you need to adjust on the fly to see how other people are receiving you. Sensitivity level to activate the microphone. Lower the sensitivity, the louder you need to speak. Of course, that's going to depend on wind noise as well. Defaults to 3, probably out of 5, yep. So we'll just leave that there for now. That's something you're gonna have to adjust depending on your helmet, bike, how big your windscreen is, etc., etc. Side tone. I've never understood what the point of this is. This gives you an echo when you're speaking to someone else. It'll actually play your voice back through your speakers. Maybe some people like that, I don't know. This should be voice activation. Yeah, so if you get an incoming call, you can by default just tap a button on the side of the unit, or you can say the activation word into the mic. I don't do that because while the phone is ringing, you can accidentally pick it up if you don't want to. So I like the actual physical control for phone calls myself. Voice assistant, this should be, yep, Hey Siri or Hey Google. If you want to use either one of those with the unit, I absolutely do. Voice command is the built-in stuff to the SENA commands. It won't have anything to do with your phone, it's just activating the different features of the comms unit. And then your language, and oh, that's good. It gives you a dedicated voice control list here, built in, and that way you don't have to go into the manual. I dig that. Is that it? Seems like, I mean, that is a lot. Just seems like they had more stuff in the past, but you know what? They all kind of blend together after a while. Okay, cool. So this says mesh off. I don't know if that means the radio is off or I'm just not connected to somebody. Mesh off, press the button. Maybe they're talking about the physical button. Which button would that be? Let's see. It says mesh intercom on off, single tap of the M button. Mesh intercom button. Give me a diagram. Which one is the mesh intercom button? That would be number 4. Ah, a little doodad right here. All right, so let's go back to the front and press that. We get a beep. Maybe you have to, oh, I think press was answer a call. Let's try holding it. No, that didn't do anything either. What am I doing wrong? No, it does say single tap. All right, let's try it again. Still not getting anything on the app. Can slide left and right here to connect multiple people between mesh and Bluetooth. Down here we've got an audio control and the FM radio control. Let's see if that works. That doesn't do anything either. All right, it says hold the button for 8 seconds to reset the mesh. So let's try that. Still nothing. All right, let me finish going through the settings real quick and then I will figure that out. Down at the bottom, we've got the home screen that we're looking at, intercom. Press the power button to turn on mesh intercom. See, I'm pressing the button on the app. Press the power button to turn on mesh intercom. It doesn't make sense because there's no dedicated power button. It's a 2 button on the device. It's a control button that says in the manual, and pressing the phone button doesn't do anything. Going to the Bluetooth screen, that's definitely not it. All right, going to audio, press the power button to turn on FM radio. And again, you know what? It could be that these aren't enabled yet. Maybe the firmware's too early. Go to phone. We can add our speed dials, whatever's in your contacts, or type in your own. Ride glow. This is where we can go into different stuff. All right, let me get that in frame there. So there's our unit. What's night mode? Probably lights on and off. I'm not sure. No, that still looks the same. I didn't see anything in the manual, but I'll check again. So we've got dynamic status LED and ride glow. It's 2 different things. I thought they were calling the same thing. Let's turn off night mode. Dynamic status LED, does that just turn the whole thing on and off? Yeah, so the green is gone. I think green means it's on but not connected to anyone. What's ride glow? So ride glow, I got a bunch of circles on the app and nothing on the jog dial, so I guess that's just a representation of what that line is doing. I got red and white in a chase sequence, blue and white, red and blue and white. So basically just different color combinations that it's going to be putting through in different sequences. And are these solid colors down at the end? Let's see. This one looks solid yellow on the app. Oh, that's just like a Christmas light almost. Okay, so definitely not for me. Dynamic status, that's going to do basically let you know the status of how it's connected and what you're doing. No idea what night mode is. Let's turn both of those off and night mode on. Okay, so night mode doesn't do anything when either one of those is off. Let's put one of these chase sequences on. So it's pulsing. Let me turn off night mode. It's still pulsing. I have no idea what night mode is supposed to do. Anyway, that's that. All right, let me go into the manual here and figure out this mesh. Maybe I have to reset the thing. All right, reading this, you do have to turn off Mesh 3.0 to connect to the older units. So you won't be able to connect to them if you have that turned on. All right, reconnected. I would like that to say the actual battery level other than high, and I'm assuming low. I like it when they give you a precise number. I do also hope that it gives a warning far beyond previous units. And this goes for any brand. Usually I get the low volume warning with like 5 minutes to spare. It doesn't do you any good when you've got 5 minutes to find some place to pull off and charge or whatever. All right, let's try going back into settings here. Maybe there's something I missed in here. Mesh, nope, nothing there. Let's go back to home. Okay, so that still doesn't do anything. Single tap. Still nothing. Very strange. All right, I'm gonna pause the video because I'm gonna have to look some stuff up and figure out why I'm not getting any kind of mesh connection. Okay, well, this is one of those stupid, frustrating things that you only find if you're a reviewer. I ran into a similar problem with the Cardo app, and it's not a fault with the unit. As soon as I packed everything up here off my bench, I went into my office to look stuff up on the computer, and I sat down and I noticed, oh look, everything's working completely normally.
Open mesh. Channel 1.
Screen recording blocks some of the features. Now on the Cardo app, you couldn't even launch the thing with screen recording on. But the SENA app, I assumed it didn't have any kind of problem because I'd been doing everything so far with it on. But obviously it was interfering for whatever reason with direct control of the device. So there you go. You'll have no problem because you're not going to be screen recording your phone while you're using things. Awesome. Now I'm super happy. And we can go out, and I'm going to temporarily put it on the helmet because, like I said, I've got other stuff to review. Then I'll do a heads up, but we're going to find out how this guy sounds right now. Oh, and yes, turning this on or off does turn off the mesh radio just like Cardo to save your batteries. Love it.
Mesh intercom off.
Installation is the same as pretty much anything else out there. You can see I've got it just temporarily mounted. It's secure enough using the clamp mount. It'll be up higher if I decide to keep this one on the helmet and actually use the sticky mount. And then you've got the little wire dongles that you can hide anywhere. The speakers Velcro in, same as anything out there. 40 millimeter standard cutout for this helmet and virtually all the other ones out there. Cardo does have one top of the line unit, which unfortunately uses 45 mil speakers that don't fit in here. And again, don't fit in the majority speakers. That's the only unit I'm not gonna be testing. And I just got my wires loosely tucked in here real quick. This is my mic for my action cam, so pay no attention to that. It does appear to be a new microphone model as well from their previous versions. And that's just run under here. The speaker over on the other side is your FM radio antenna. So don't bunch it all up, just loop it up over to the other side and you're good to go. That's it for that.
All right, out for the road test. Now, I've been playing with it a bit here, and I can tell you about the EQ settings. Music balance, I like that best on all the other units I've tested. However, on this one, the treble boost actually really sounds nice because it makes it sound very natural with earplugs in. I've got my normal Surefire earplugs in, as always. And I love them because they cut out the wind noise, but you can still hear things outside. You can still hear emergency vehicles and toll booth operators and people talking to you next to you at the stoplight or whatever. They don't just totally block out the sound. They just take all the fatigue out. But with this app, using the treble boost, just makes them sound perfect, like you're not even wearing earplugs. The bass boost works. However, what it's doing is actually cutting out the overall volume on bass hits. Now that's doing a couple things. It does boost the bass when there aren't big bass hits, but when it does a little cut, it just sounds unnatural, like somebody's turning an attenuator knob up and down with the beat. I was wondering what was holding us up. Some asshole trying to cut the line, as usual. So overall volume, I can tell you it's a little louder than any other unit I've tried. It's not 8 dB louder though. I suspect we're going to see a firmware update because I know it hasn't hit yet for the 50S, giving the software boost. So we may only be seeing half the boost here in the unit. I'm just playing this song on loop right now because it's a very hot track, and hot as in volume, and I've been using it as a standard for my tests. I need to get up to some speed here. I'm going to put the windscreen down just a bit so I can get some more wind noise and see how it cuts through. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice. I want to get a little faster, get some more wind. Oh yeah, it works. It really works. Oh yeah, I'm happy. All right, so first of all, overall volume, even right now, I don't know if this is everything it's going to have, but right now at highway speeds with the screen down, no problem. Everything is cutting through. Every lyric is perfectly legible. It's amazing because I was expecting, you know, the little bit of difference to be kind of drowned out fairly quickly, but it wasn't. My overall level in my helmet is consistent from standing still to 80 plus. That's amazing. So the other thing I was going to note is on some units like the PackTalk Edge I just reviewed recently, when you have full volume on hot tracks like this one, there is a good bit of distortion on the peaks of the tracks, and this has none of that. It's doing that little bit of volume dip as those peaks hit, so it's controlling all the distortion at the expense of a little bit of the bass volume on the beats, even on the treble boost. So I have no problem with that. It's giving me perfectly clean sound, and that's what's important to me here, that I'm not hearing any crunchy distortion with bass hits, or even in this track, vocals, which is very strange. My 30K had a little bit of the bass breakup, but I never had any vocal breakup. So there you go. If you're looking for something for highway speed, high wind noise, volume control to give you all the lyrics and the navigation prompts that you need, I can tell you with 100% certainty that the 60S fits the bill. So very, very happy about that. All right, so that's going to do it for this review. If you got any questions that I can answer right away, I will certainly try to do so. I'm going to have the 50S review shortly. Give me a few days for that. I'll be running through the same stuff and do a direct comparison, of course, to this. And after that, I'll do a little comparison between the PackTalk Edge and the 50S and the 60S, because believe it or not, those three are in direct competition with one another, feature and price-wise, depending on exactly what you're looking for. The PackTalk Edge on sale is about the same as the regular priced 50S, but the regular price for the Edge is pretty close to the price of the 60S. And the 50S on sale is an absolute bargain at about 250 bucks. So there's a lot to think about, but we'll see how it does. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.